Hello, we conclude our history of the Mussar Revolution, as Nala has entitled it. Our final class is the continuation of Kelm, and it's going to culminate now with the story of Rav Dessler. Today's class is Le'nishus Rachaleh Bas Chaim Tzvi Aleh Shalom. We thank all of Nala for all their help, and we continue now. Regarding Rav Dessler and the obvious connection to Kelm, Kelm was the finishing school for the perfection of Midos. Rav Dessler came to Kelm, and except for the years of World War I, he was, until his bar mitzvah in 1906, until he left Lithuania in 1928 to go to England. Aside from the times he was away, Kelm never left from within him. Everything about Rav Dessler screamed out Kelm. It was shouting from the rooftops. Perfection through order and discipline, self-control, humility, truth, plumbing a topic to its very depths, loving one's fellow man, abhorrence of honor, and menuchas hanefesh. In Kelm, the story is told that a major Talmid Chacham came to Kelm, and a fellow came over and gave him a big Shalom Aleichem. He thought to himself, this guy is obviously my best friend, and I don't even remember his name. And the guy was he took so much time to show him where to go. And then another boy came over and gave him such a big Shalom Aleichem, such a warm welcome, and how you doing, what can I do for you? He thought to himself, my two best friends, and I can't remember their names. And then another one, they said, that's the way it is in Kelm. The love, it was the perfection of Midos. The way you're supposed to greet someone is actually the way they did it in Kelm. Okay. When he arrived in Kelm, Rav Dessler was served by the Alter from Kelm's daughter, tasteless porridge. They thought, this woman must be a terrible cook. The next day she gave the same tasteless porridge, day after day, until he realized in Kelm this was the voda. It was part of the Shviras Haratzon, breaking the midos, breaking your desire to serve you tasteless food. Now, I told some of my students in Shivat HaKotel, they said, if he would have come here, he would have thought the food was even worse. But that's not the case. Actually, Rav Dessler thought, wherever he went the rest of his life, wherever he ate, no matter how bad the food was always better than what he had in Kelm. Because it was deliberate in Kelm to put any flavor, take it out of the food. You're eating for nutrition, you don't need all the enjoyment. He arrives in Kelm at the age of 14. Until he will get married 14 years later, he's going to finish Shas, the entire Talmud, 4 times. That's worth repeating because people look at Mashkichim as, Mussar, Msil Sisharim, Rabbeinu Yonah, Chayvis Alavavais. And we don't ascribe to them great Talmud learning. Rav Dessler, as a young fellow in his teens, finished Shas 4 times, the entire Talmud. He's going to marry the Alter from Kelm's granddaughter, and he himself is the great-grandson of Yisrael Salanter. As we mentioned last time, the Alter from Kelm, the Simcha Zisel Ziv, was the primary disciple of Yisrael Salanter. He's going to marry this man's granddaughter, and he himself is the great-grandson of Yisrael Salanter. So fused into him is Kelm, is Rabbi Yisrael Salanter, it's certainly Mussar. He's genetically programmed. That is for sure the case. Now, Rebbetzin Blum of Dessler, she shared her husband's lofty aspirations, and she too knew how to learn. For the tradition was in Kelm that women would learn Torah. The Alter's wife and daughters would attend the shmuzim that he gave in the Kelm Talmud Torah. And the tradition in Kelm was also that the men should study general knowledge. So let's say, because it's somewhat unusual. In Kelm, the woman would learn Torah, not just general studies, and in Kelm, the men would learn general studies, not just Limudei Kodesh. It was also a tradition in Kelm that men would not earn a living or a livelihood from Torah pursuits. You were not to be paid a salary for being a Rebbe, a Mashkiach, a Rosh Yeshiva. You'd have some other job which would supply your income. In 1915, Rav Chaim Ozer, who we've spoken about at length, Rav Chaim Ozer is the uncle of Rav Dessler. Now, Rav Chaim Ozer squarely put on his very broad shoulders all of Europe. As a matter of fact, he carried Europe on his back. That was a line that Rabbi Beryl Wein once said. It's always stayed with me. Because that's true what Rav Chaim Ozer did. And as we've explained on other occasions, Rav Chaim Ozer, who did so much for Jewry, he was the undisputed leader, the undisputed Gadol Ador in a time of major mega Gedolim. At the time of the Chafetz Chaim, in the era of Rav Chaim Brisker, in the epoch of the Or Sameach, the undisputed Gadol was Rav Chaim Ozer Grzinski in Vilna. Chaim Ozer. Now, the reason why this name is not so popular today I think, is threefold. Firstly, because he had no surviving children. Secondly, because there aren't yeshivas named after him. And thirdly, all that Rav Chaim Ozer built up. In other words, in World War I, who lost World War I? So you'll say, of course, the Germans and the Austrians. True, they were the losers, but factually, everyone lost World War I. Can you say the French were the victors when they lost over 1 million men? And how many millions and millions did the Russians lose? How many hundreds of thousands did the Canadians and the Americans and the British lose? Everyone lost World War I, the Great War, everyone lost. But the greatest losers were the Jews. When the Russians would conquer a town, they would burn the Jewish homes. When the Germans would conquer a town, they'd burn the Jewish homes. The Jews were the greatest losers. And Chaim Ozer managed to rehabilitate all of Jewry. And he had to rehabilitate also from the communists. Again, make mikvah.